quick story here.
What do you got?
Well, it's college football. I saw this today, and it blew my mind.
Yeah, it's a
my little pea brain.
It's a lot of milk.
Yeah, it's I don't
a lot of milk.
really understand this.
There's a reason why. I can explain it.
But the USA Today acquired some tax documents, and they were from the University of Miami. And in there, it showed that Miami paid Mario Cristobal in the year 2022. They paid him $22.7 million.
We just rolled, brother.
In total comp.
Hey-oh.
Oh, I know.
Dude, what? 22 So his deal is 10 years and $8 million.
Yeah.
And the highest paid college football coach, at least, and again, it's a private university. Miami is.
Yeah.
They're saying that is the largest single year payment to an athletics employee at any private university on record.
That anyone knows of.
Right. Because those aren't public. But amongst the public schools, the top salaried guy was what? Saban? Or the guy who was making the most was Saban?
Saban.
And now it's we just did this the other day. Who's number one now?
God, we were just doing this. I think it's Sark or Kirby. Because Sark just got his big bump. Norvell got his bump. I think it's one of those.
Yeah, I forget. But anyway,
so there's an explanation, and
they were less than 15, right?
You what?
They were less than 15. They were like in the
they're
12,
like
13.
in the 12 range. But
$22 million.
Well, so there's two weird things are going on from my understanding, doing some poking around at this, because the Miami athletic director did not want a real comment on it, but he said that there's two things. One, they do gross up pay, so they cover taxes for some people. So I guess at Miami, in some of these contracts, and it's not just for Cristobal, they do it for others too, is that when you make $7.7 million, it sounds like Miami covers the taxes so that you make $7.7 million. And on top of that, Mario Cristobal owed $9 million in a buyout to Oregon. Miami paid that. And by paying it, they gave it to Cristobal. And so they had to gross up pay the $9 million, which with taxes, that is the majority of what was there's about a $15 million gap there that people couldn't understand. It sounds like it's the $9 million buyout and then these gross up pays. So they gave him enough to cover with taxes the buyout to Oregon. So he will not make this every year, but it sounds like the gross up payments do happen. So he'll make more than the 7.7 that he's technically owed, but the buyout thing will be a one-time payment.
That's intense.
Well, it's good, by the way. That's smart negotiating on the part of his agent. It was like, yeah, we want 7.7, but we would like actually $7.7 million.
The previous record for total compensation paid to an athletics employee at a private university was TCU's Gary Patterson. In 2021, the year he left, he made $17.2 million.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, again, that buyouts, right?
Yeah, I would imagine that's, hey, get out of here. Here's everything.
Well, I'm asking, like, what is Jimbo had $70 million on his buyout, $80 million bucks. Where does, like, what sort of lump sum payments does he get on that? Or are they breaking that out over 30 years? How does that all work?
Yeah, I don't know. There was
I feel like I read something about it being over a 5 or 10 year period or something like that.
So he's going to get, there's going to be some big chunks coming to that.
There is nothing I want more in life than to just be sitting around doing nothing.
Get fired for millions of dollars.
Yes, and getting checks for millions of dollars.
Absurd.
It is absurd.
Well, and this is why I say to every one of those people in the university level that bitch and moan about costs and college football game changing and all that, F you. You know how much money is being paid? It's over $1 billion is going to coaches for doing nothing right now. So anytime I listen to one of these jackasses bitching and moaning about the state of college sports, I'm looking at you, Tom Izzo. I'm looking at you, Dabo. F off. You get paid so much money, and it doesn't matter whether you win or lose because they pay you $80 million to not do anything. I am so with you on that. Oh no, I got fired. Whatever am I going to do? I don't know.
Yeah, these coaches like, oh great, I don't have to deal with these S-head kids anymore.
Well, what did for Bill Belichick next year, he's not going to coach. And I want to say, I think the Patriots are paying him like $19 million, $20 million to not coach. So I listen to all these like Boston reporters. Oh, Bill's been treated so unfairly. Get bent. Oh no! Robert Kraft told Arthur Blank not to trust him. You know what else? Or what he's doing to Bill Belichick? He's writing him a check for $20 million to not do anything, and I'm supposed to feel like great sympathy towards that? Stop it! It's like when one of these CEOs screws up a company so bad they run it into the ground, they get fired, and then as punishment they get like a $40 million golden parachute to not work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. There's really no. When you get to that level, there's just really no true consequences.
No.
Other than if you care about your ego.
Yes.
Your reputation.
Oh, I'm sure they'll say, but my reputation was on the line, and it was a bad look for me. Yeah, your bank account will make you sleep at night, I think.
Yeah, but I also think that's not even a thing because people do so much mental gymnastics to make it so it wasn't their fault anyway.
Yeah.
You know, people do this all the time.
Yeah.
So, really no downside. Let me run a company.
Well, and that's why you
may run it into the ground, but
exactly.
I'll take my $20
You're
million
right that
buyout.
once you get to that point, no matter what happens,
there's no unless you're Jeffrey Skilling. He went to prison.
Oh, well, that's different.
He was Enron.
But that's the thing is, even when those guys go to prison, they still usually end up coming out and being okay.
Well, that was like one guy.
Yeah, one guy.
Or, well, I mean, several people from Enron, but you know what I mean.
Well, think about like
one
when
company.
Like when the economic collapse happened, like with all Citibank and Bank of America. I mean, they took the they took some of the largest institutions in America, drove them into the ground, and as punishment, they got billions of dollars for free, and then bonuses and.
And by the way, I would
insane.
like to point out, as someone did on the Vancouver 4 text line, that Mario Cristobal, who got $22.7 million in pay from Miami in 2022, same coach who refused to kneel on the ball and win a game against Georgia Tech, only to have his player fumble and them to run it back into the end zone so that he could lose. That guy right there made $22.7 million in one year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think they're still saying, by the way, Dabo just shy of 12 just in pay.
It's a dadgum mistake.